Subscribe now. EU debates.
Many of you clearly stated that those with the broadest shoulders should carry the biggest load. I think that was a quote from Ms Jongerius, but I very much felt the same attitude from most of the honourable members who intervened this morning. And I think that I'm totally in agreement with Ms de Lange, who said that thanks to support of this House, EU is indeed leading force in helping Ukraine to defend itself and in making sure that Russia pays exorbitant political and economic price for this atrocious war. Our major leverage is our political European unity, which is forged in a debate like this, but also our economic strength, which allows us to proceed with tough, unprecedented sanctions which hurts aggressors more and more. Today we proceed with a fixed package of sanctions, and I really would like to thank you for your encouragement, for your support, because to quote Mr. Garicano and Mr. Galler just a minute ago, banning oil imports from Russia seemed too difficult just a few weeks ago. Today we are proceeding. Today we are doing just that, and we make sure that we would proceed in concerted way to have every single government on board. And as you know, this is not an easy task, but we are working on this unity, and I'm very encouraged by the support we hear in this House and by the discussions we have with our member states. I think Mr. Marques underscored in a very able way that the political unity indeed is our major strength, and economic power is our major leverage. Several honourable members, Mr. Fernandes, Mr. Shirdevan, but many others are rightly reminding us that our unprecedented sanctions affect our citizens and businesses in Europe as well. And I want to reassure you that we in the Commission are also very much concerned by the high energy prices, and we are looking into all opportunities how to tackle them and how to use all the possibilities we have at our disposal, and we will come up with some proposals and solutions under our recovery plan, which we'll present to you in coming days. It will still be in this month in May. We are, of course, looking at other possibilities how to help economically and financially to our member states and to our citizens. Mr. Belka and Mr. Olbrycht have been asking the questions, is our budget fit for war? Of course, it was prepared in different times, under different circumstances, but at the same time, we have to act and we have to play with the cards we have, with the budgetary means which are at our disposals. And therefore, I thought that I would bring some figures to you, because through you, I believe we can communicate directly also with our citizens and with our member states. So far, we have 22 out of 27 recovery plans in place, and we have disbursed already 70 billion euros to our member states. We hope that in coming days and weeks, we will reach the mark of 100 billion euros, which will be dispensed under our recovery plans. And as I'm sure you know, and Mr. Olbrycht is a rapporteur, he knows these figures by heart, almost 180 billion, 177 billion euros precisely is geared towards climate goals, which of course today are a purpose for making sure that we would lower our dependence on Russia, we would increase the portion of renewables energy in our systems, and in that way subsequently lower the prices. Having mentioned all these figures, I also would like to underline that 220 billion euros of loans are still available. There is still this huge envelope which we want to use, and we are exploring all the possibilities with the member states how to do that. And this goes into the direction of what Madam Niebler said, that we have to repurpose, redirect the means we have currently available. On top of this, as Madam Katainen was highlighting, we also identified 17 billion euros of post-pandemic cohesion funds which are still not used. And we proceeded very quickly just to avoid the situation that this money, which are so badly needed, would be returned back to the member states, and we introduced the utmost flexibility on urgent needs, to support exactly what Madam Garcia Perez, but many others have been asking, how we can support the member states with the highest number of refugees like Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria, and many others with housing, with education, with healthcare and childcare. Just from the top of my head, but we'll be of course very happy to provide you with the more precise figures. I think Poland got more than 288 million from the 17 billion package. I mean, there was quite significant sum coming to Slovakia, I'm sure to Romania, but I understand that what we need here is a little bit more clarity and transparency, and therefore we are going to prepare the table where we will see what is the overall fund, what are the disbursed money for each member state, and what is still available. So we can all work with the concrete figures to make it more user-friendly. Thanks to Elisa Ferreira, my colleague, we established one-stop shop and special task force which can give the advice to the member states how they can repurpose and reuse the money. And I hope that this would make it much more faster and easier to use for our member states. And I just want to pass this message also through you, so the member states are aware and are, I would say, ready to check what is available from the budgetary means we have. Of course, I totally agree with all of you that if it comes to the overall, let's hope as soon as possible, post-war recovery for Ukraine, I'm absolutely sure that Europe will be leading force and will lead the effort here as well. But it's also very clear that the needs would be enormous. We are talking about hundreds of billions of euros, and therefore we are already now approaching G7 member states, IMF, World Bank, different international financial institutions, because it will have to be indeed a collective effort. But I agree with all of you who underscored in this debate that there is no price tag if it comes to freedom, if it comes to liberty, if it comes to democracy, and I'm absolutely sure that Ukrainian people, first and foremost, but also Europe, will rise to the challenge to rebuild free, democratic and prosperous Ukraine. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, honourable members. Thank you.
Danke.
Thank you very much, Vice President.